Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Joy Ijehon. Please like, subscribe and share this video. It's going to bless you. This is story time with Joy. So yes, I'm going to share a bit about my story of how I became this woman of God that I am, a spiritual girl, the one who loves Jesus and who Jesus loves more than words could ever describe. I can't begin to explain or describe how well loved I have been by God, how faithful He has been to me over the time where I ignored Him, when I didn't even know that He was there walking with me, keeping me. So from as long as I could remember, I've always been a church girl. I've always gone to church. My mom should always take us to church. So, and because of my temperament, I was involved in church activities. So I used to do everything, dance, drama, all those girls in church that were in all the departments. Yes, as a child, up to when I was a teenager, I would serve in various units in church. But that was all I was doing. I was only doing the activities. It didn't translate to a relationship with God. It didn't translate to intimacy with the Holy Spirit. So this would go on through uni. And I remember that even those who know me as way back as uni, there's some who will tell you that I was rigid, I was judgmental, I was friendly, but I still wasn't like really kind. I wasn't living the Christ-like life. Okay, I was just too rigid. I was just judging everybody by a set of rules that I felt like was the standard for what Christianity and morality was. Anyway, fast forward to 2015. I not 2015, December of 2014. So December 31st into this was crossover service into 2015. I remember that pastor had asked us to pray and ask God for one thing that we wanted Him to do for us in 2015 as we're crossing into it. And I remember that I prayed with all my heart and I asked God that I wanted to have a better relationship with Him. I didn't want to have this relationship where I was just trying to keep up with a checklist. I wanted to know Him. I wanted to hear Him. I wanted Him to know me because I felt like He didn't know me. I wanted Him to know me. I wanted to just have a better, more intentional relationship with God. And 2015 came and everything was still the same. I would remember how I prayed and I would do my best to again keep going by the checklist and just trying to pray more, read my Bible more. Then I think it must have been February of 2015. I received the prophecy from my pastor, and the words, like everything he said, it wasn't matching with the plans that I had for my life or the expectations that I had for the next phase of my life. So I just went home and spoke with my mom about what he said, and I remember the summary of the conversation with my mom was that let's see what God will do. That was what my mom said, and I just said okay. So I carried on with everything I was doing, trusting that God would realign me to whatever He wanted me to do, and everything just started to pan out from June of 2015. Everything, most of the prophetic words started to come to pass. And by September of 2015, I remember that I was at a place where it felt like I'd hit rock bottom. Nothing was working. Everything was just going downhill. I thought I would be a better year since I said that I wanted to be committed more to God. And I actually was doing better in my personal relationship with God. However, things didn't turn out the way I expected. So in September of 2015, I was feeling really low, really bad. But the only thing that was thriving in my life at that time was my relationship with God. It was that I had conversations now with Jesus Christ. I knew when He was talking to me, I had journals where I written down prayers, whether I was able to pray or not, every of my heart desires, every of my thoughts, every of my concerns. I would just write them down in letters to God. And by October, I started preaching on my way to work. Like anyone that would sit beside me on on the bus or public transport that I would take to work, I'll just speak to them about it. I wasn't bold enough to get up and start speaking on the bus, no, but anyone that sat close to me, I'll just share a word with them. And that was how I kept going. That was the only thing that was working. Then by September, no, this was already October, I beg your pardon. So by December, things started looking better. And by the time it was 2016, I felt like I had a better hang of my life, or the direction that the Lord was pointing me towards. And one of the things that I started doing more intentionally was fasting. I would fast and I would just open my Bible and I would hear God. I heard God for many things, for myself, for my sister. I remember there was even a word for my sister's friend as well. So I'll go to the mountains. You know, the mountains in the western part of Nigeria. I'll go to Ondo, Oyo. There was a time that I went to Ikiti with my friend. This was 2016, and we just fast and pray and just ask God, talk to me about you, talk to me about you. But as he's talking to us about him, he would also reveal things about us, about me, about my friend, whoever I went with on this retreat, or my siblings. So around this period as well, I started to have like periodic meetings with my pastor, maybe once in 6 months or once in 3 months, depending on his schedule. And all these times he'll ask me, are you going to do ministry? I'm like, no, I'm just going to serve God. I'm not interested in ministry. And he would laugh, but he would still talk to me about pastors, the pastors he felt like I should listen to, his challenges in ministry, the things that he felt like he should have done better. He would just share this. Shout out to Dr. Amos Fenwa, like great guy. And you just teach me all these things about like challenges in ministry, how to have ministry friendships, how to understand the voice of God. He would connect me with pastors that he was listening to that I thought I should listen to. He would ask me about books that he felt like I should have read, but I hadn't read at the time. And it was just really, really beautiful to experience mentorship and discipleship from him over that period of time. And around 2018, towards the end of 2018, all was going well. So this is from 2015 to 2018. Everything was going on well. I was growing at this time. I had come to terms with the fact that I was a prophet, because God would share things with me and I'll just relate to people and they'll be like, oh my God, that was true. I was praying more. I was studying the Bible more. It was just really beautiful. Like I would sit in a group of people and we'll talk for hours about Jesus Christ and I'll not be bored. It was just really a beautiful experience. But like I said, my character had to be formed. I wanted to find how these things that I was doing, how these lessons that I was learning spiritually would translate to a better relationship with other people, would translate to me being a better friend, a better sister, a better colleague, a better daughter. And it was still a challenge. I was still having problems in my friendships at the time, my relationship with people, and around 2018 it just got really worse. And I remember it must have been December of 2018. It's always December, December of 2018, and I couldn't feel my heart. My heart just felt numb. I was tired. I was sad. I was really, really sad. I felt like I was depressed almost. And I remember just saying, God, why is this happening to me? What's going on? What have I done wrong? I thought it would be better now that I was with you and you were with me. I know you better now. And just all these questions. And I remember God asking me, he said, this feeling that you feel, do you know that there are other ladies who feel the same way as well? And I was like, really? And he said, yes, there are other ladies. And I think that you should gather these ladies together and pray together and help each other through this place of pain and numbness. And so I designed a flyer, and that was how Church Girls started. It was like the idea was to get women who went to church but they just needed extra encouragement. It felt like the sermon wasn't doing anything for them again. Their religion, they knew what they ought to do as Christians. They need to pray, they need to fast, they need to study the Bible, but it wasn't just working. And I was nervous because this meant that the ministry that my pastor at the time had been asking me if I was going to do, and I said no. That means the ministry was going to start now. And I struggled with it a bit, but in January of 2019, I'd seen a video where Mrs. Priscilla Shira, she had put up a video with her sister where there were a group of women, 10 women who had prayed together for 10 years. And when I watched this video, I was just amazed to see how this group of women went together through many years of pain, joy, celebration, hardship, and just supporting each other through this time, even though they were in church, but they had their own circle. That there's some things that the pastor may not hear about, but their circle can, and they could pray together and help each other through it. And so that was the final confirmation that I required to start the church girls meeting. And so on February of 2019, February 8th, we had the first church girls meeting. And from then on, that's how I started ministry officially. We would come together once in 2 months and pray and share the word and break bread, yes, book communion and food. And I'll minister to them. The Lord would give me words about them. So that's my journey of coming to become a woman of God. Yes, there are other things that happen in between, but this is just a nice summary. So if you have any questions about how I came to be this woman of God, if there was anything that I said in there that you have more questions or inquiries about, you can leave a comment in the comment section and I'll definitely respond and share more stories with you to answer your question. This is what I would always have done on my WhatsApp, but I felt like the Lord wanted me to bring it to a wider audience. So yes, any questions that you may have from what I've shared, please do well to leave in the comment section below. And also I'd like to appeal to you to please subscribe, share, and like this video so that more people can hear my story. God bless you. God be with you. God keep you. God cause his face to shine upon you and grant you peace. Okay? Until I see you again, it's your girl Joy Ijehon. Bye-bye.